Awesome. So recording is started. Rayhana, you can take it from here.
Thank you, Shri. Thank you, everyone. Welcome to the very first Fireside chat that TapArt is hosting. This is a very wholesome opportunity for all of you guys to get to know the artists that you buy from. Today, we are blessed with the presence of three awesome artists from three different continents. We have Maete from Southern America, we have Akshata from Southeast Asia, from India, and Manzi from Eastern Africa. And we will get to learn more about their inspiration and about their day-to-day life as creatives in emerging economies. So again, as I mentioned earlier, make yourself comfortable, get something to drink, get you something to eat, and sit with us in this virtual fireside chat. I mean, I wish we could get like marshmallows and just like roast them and eat our marshmallows and cookies. So yeah, before we start, I'd also like to introduce myself. Hi, everyone. My name is Rayhana. I am from Morocco in Canada, and I will be hosting today's fireside chat. And now let me do a little intro of our beloved, amazing artists present here. So Manzi is a Rwandan visual artist who is specialized in pastel style paintings. You should definitely check his Instagram out. Also, if all of you guys would like to put the link to your Instagrams in the chat so that our audience can go follow you there. He started art 2 years back, and he is strongly influenced by what he sees in his environment around him. Akshata is an Indian artist who has always been a mix of a perfectionist and an overachiever. She believes these traits existed in her to constantly be a better version of herself in the way she performs her art and in the way she lives her life. Maete, who is joining us from Brazil, is in love with patterns and surface design. She loves everything about surface pattern design all the way. Thank you guys for being here today. It's a pleasure to have you all here. And I'm assuming our audience is extremely excited to get to hear more about you and your art. So as a quick icebreaker, I just wanted to ask you guys, if you were not practicing the current art medium that you are practicing, what art medium would you pick? Akshata, you can go first. I think
so. Hi, Raina. That was a lovely introduction that you did. And I would like to thank the entire team who has organized this event with heart and efforts, along with TapArt for giving us a platform to showcase our art. It really means a lot. And coming back to the question, if not art, I would be doing something with psychology and human resource. So
awesome.
communicating, interacting with people is something that I really love, and art is one form to show what you feel, you see around, you talk, and if not art, communicating with people would have been lovely in the form of human resource. That's what I think.
That is so awesome. And then do you think you'd be doing like something in drama if you were still an artist but you were not a visual artist? Would you do drama or would you do something else in art?
I we tried in my university along with my when I was working with my earlier firm. I had actually been part of a drama, but that didn't impress me much, so I had to quit. Yeah.
Awesome, awesome, fantastic. What about you, Mansi? If you were not practicing the current art medium that you're practicing, what other medium would you pick?
First,
That is
thank you
related.
for having me. Marzi, sorry.
Apologies.
Okay, you said the medium that they practice is related to art.
Yeah,
Yes.
and another art medium, what would it be?
Okay, I will do like mixed media. Yeah, I will try mixed media because I even tried it before, but I found it was no. I wasn't much interested in it than doing the medium, acrylic medium. Yeah, so I would practice mixed media. Yeah.
Awesome. And have you ever thought of actually like switching, or are you where you are?
Yeah, because the kind of art I'm doing now is not the kind of art I did when I was starting to do art. So it's like a street. Yeah, I do a street.
And that really shows that like the journey of an artist is very fluid. It's not something that's like rigid. You can start within as a creative, using a medium and then evolve and use another medium, and like you don't even know, probably you might be interested in something else, and that's like something awesome about being an artist and a creative. You have space to be fluid and explore different parts of the big field that is art. Now on to you, Maete. Sorry for earlier. But if you weren't doing surface design, what other part of art would you be choosing to practice?
Okay, sorry for interruption. I understand. Thank you for having me, and this is a nice place for discuss about art and this new market. I when I start, I want to be like work with animation, you know, like this thing that DreamWorks do. That I always love this thing, and I used how do you said we can do that, you know. It's so fluid, you can like migrate for this part of art, 3D and animation, no. I don't know, maybe in the future, but I love surface pattern design. I love.
That is so awesome. And like, would you mentioned that like you could maybe probably navigate animation again, but what made you, and you also mentioned that early on you wanted to work with animations. Like, what made you switch to surface pattern design? Was there something that triggered the change?
You know, it was the destiny, because I start to study the graphic design, and then I start to work. My first like job with the graphic design was a surface pattern design a long time ago. And you know, I don't know why this follow me, like chase me all the time, and I say, oh, all my jobs I work with this. And then when I start to work with surface pattern design, is something that is just graphic design. It's not something like specialized in this field, no. And then when I saw that I always like jumping in this side, I start to study more, and I start to see that is making like a people that work with graphic design, or maybe artists, start to do that. And then I say, oh, maybe it's a new field, like a new way to act like graphic design. And I will start study and work in different places and study, and it was like a destiny, I don't know. And now I'm like loving it.
Ah, that is so wholesome because, you know, we plan and then the universe plans something else for us. And then at the end, we're like, wow, I wouldn't have imagined this for myself. But truly, I think if I can follow up on that question and ask you what made you actually choose graphic design to study graphic design in school. Were you interested in graphic design as a kid, or was it a choice that you made later on in your teenagehood? Just tell me more about how you started in this field. Oh, sorry, I think you're muted.
Who start? It's for me. No,
Yeah.
I start with doing art. I was choosing architecture. You know, I was to be an architect, and but when I saw what it involves, I say, no, I think it's not exactly what I want. And I love colors and I love shapes and I love this part maybe for architecture. I think colors was the first thing that came to my life, like that I love it. And when I started to study graphic design, it was so new. It was like 2 years in 2, 3 years in Brazil. You know, like the first classes was starting, and was amazing because I didn't know about graphic design. I just choosing like I know that is not architecture, but I didn't know if it's publicity or I don't know. And then when I discover, I say perfect, was perfect. I fell in love in the first class. I say, oh, this is amazing. This is what exactly what I feel that I want to do, you know. Is so nice.
Oh my goodness. I mean, again, it seems like you were destined to be
Yeah,
a
exactly.
graphic to study. It's so wholesome, truly. I know that Akshata had a different journey with art. She mentioned during our small chat together that you didn't start your professional career as an artist, and it's something that you discovered later on in your life. How was the process? Did you just wake up one day and decided, hey, I want to become a full-time artist, or was there something that triggered it? Walk us through your story.
So back then, when I was having my graduation, uh, art was not much appreciated here in my family as well because we don't have any artists in the family. My parents are engineers, and my dad is an engineer. My mom is a housewife. So art was from far away, no way connected to the family. So when I felt like I would, like Maete said, animation was a boom that time. So it was like, no, let's try hands on animation, but. Since there was a lot of many restrictions, I couldn't choose art field at that time. So I was enrolled to commerce, finance, and just couldn't take any stand. So I continued and did my master's in commerce. I then pursued a job which could, give me a living, pay me, help me pay my bills, and I continued for 8 long years with that job itself. Every now and then whenever I used to go down, I used to always see, is it now the time to start something of my own? Now I am a little adult, I can take my decisions. But in India, you are not having that kind of a freedom to take decisions just by yourself. So you have to consider your parents, your family, everybody. And when it comes to career and marriage, it is very sensitive. So after having your master's done and like all the 5 to 10 years working as a financial analyst, you can't switch the career. So, but then I wasn't happy with the numbers and all. It was going good. I was doing really very good in that field as well. But somewhere inside, I was not happy. I was feeling it's only one life. Why should I not try it out? And then I'm so fortunate enough for my husband. He actually forced me to try one more time. Try one more time. You've not tried it at all. So he pushed me a lot into this. So there was a sketchbook that I used to maintain back then. So whenever I used to go through the downside of my life, I used to sketch randomly. So that sketchbook he took and he just randomly posted it on Instagram, Facebook. People started liking it and commenting it. That's how one day he told me, look at this. This is what the feedback is. You should really try it out. And then I decided, okay, fine. If you're saying so, I will quit. But then see, it really becomes difficult to quit something which is ongoing. You can't just hard and fast take decisions. And also, after taking the decision, also it becomes very difficult to stick to it and being consistent throughout. There were a lot many downfalls, hardships, battles that I have fought to come till here. But fortunate enough that so far it is going good. And also, without having any certification and degree in arts, it's all self-taught. Whatever you see on my account, my store, This is all self-taught from YouTube and all the artists that are there. I just keep learning new forms, and whatever inspires me, I keep drawing. So far, it's a learning phase for everybody, and I believe we can learn together and grow together. Yeah.
That is such an inspiring story, truly, because I think it's a common reality for many people who have this creative side of them, but cannot really indulge in it fully because there's the expectations of society, the expectations of your family, the expectations of living, like finances, etc. As you mentioned, you need something to pay your bills, and starting as an artist out of nowhere is quite difficult. I mean, you need to work hard. And so, and you mentioned that your husband was such a great source of support for you, which is truly awesome. So, what would you say would be the three biggest things that helped you? What, like, things that you've done for yourself, and also things that your community has done for you in
So,
order
to be an artist.
yeah.
So, firstly, I would like to point out consistency is important. If you then dedication, hard working. So, this all things together help you go towards one direction. Just deciding one day, like I want to be something, that is not going to help. That is not at all going to help. You have to be consistent throughout. Like there's no single day you will stand up and say, okay, I've achieved it. In art, it is not like that. It's a continuously learning process. Like nobody can just stand up one day and say, I've done it. You have to keep doing, keep hard working. Also, you should have people who really are close to you, who really want you want to see you grow. So those kind of people really help in the growing and the struggling phase. They keep encouraging you, motivating you, and showing strength in you when you yourself can't see that strength in yourself. So I believe hard working, dedication, and having good people around you is really what matters.
Ah, awesome. Just to repeat for our audience and the people watching us on YouTube and Instagram, Akshata, a very, very awesome, successful artist, is saying that dedication, continuity, and having great support systems will help you develop and do what you actually want. And I think it can be extended to other areas of life, not just being an artist, but truly following what your heart wants. And as you mentioned, it's only one life. You can't live a life long and a life worth of experience doing things that you don't necessarily like and that don't make you happy. And that kind of like ties to Manzi's journey. I know that it's been relatively recent since you've started being an artist, and mashallah, your Instagram page is like filled with art. I'm like, this person is a dedicated artist. Like I was scrolling and I was like, wow, like how many pieces do you create a day? It's awesome. How was your journey? Again, how did you start? Was it like a passion that you've had as a kid that you grew up with? Or was it something that you acquired as a teenager or as an adult? Please walk us through your story. I think you're muted. Yeah.
Thank you. I would like to thank you also for having me in this chat. So one thing I want to talk about is I started drawing small art when I was a kid. Yeah, because I remember that, I remember that when I was like primary, I used to draw like small drawings and then take them to my daddy, show him and tell me, wow, this is this. But that time I was kid, I was young, and I mean, I could tell if I would be an artist. Yeah, so, but as a when I was in my high school in four, that's when I say let me try, because I knew I know how to draw small drawings, small drawings. So that time I said let me try again the art. So that's where I started to draw using pencil, pencil drawings, drawing people, drawing some like stars here in Rwanda, you know. Then I took them at school and showed those drawings to my friend, to my classmates, and said, "Wow, this is beautiful, this is good, this is dope. You should have been to. I mean, should have gone to the art school, you know, something like that." So from that, like motivational words from my friend, that's when where I said, let me just finish my high school, then I will go step in the art career in art school or art short courses so I can pursue the art, you know. So here in Rwanda we do 6 years in high school. So I finished my high school in 2019, and then automatically after finishing my school, after completing my school, that's when I started to do some short courses, but that's not, it doesn't, it didn't be like a like to me because, you know, that's when COVID came in into the world, you know. But I said, because I want to be an artist, I want to do art. I didn't know what kind of art I want to do, but I wanted to be an artist, you know. So that's when I started to go to YouTube, to go to Google, searching for art, search for art materials to use, search for where I even search where artists got inspiration, you know, because I want to be like an artist, but I didn't know how to do it, how to become an artist. So from that, from searching to YouTube to wow, how artists do their art, how they paint, the materials they use. That's when I got what like a basic material, basic skills to start art. So I started practicing that because I asked the money from my dad, yeah, to buy like small art materials and few art materials just to start it, you know. So I started doing that with a note that I will even do art that people will like, you know. So I started doing something like, but aside, I have my brother. He used to do some animations. I don't know if you know animations. So he had the drawing tablet. Drawing tablet. Yeah, that's when I joined to art. I said, let me try digital art. The same time, try visual art, this painting art. So I started doing them at the same time, but I didn't know if I will be maybe successful, I will do good, if I do other people will love, you know. So I tried doing some digital art which were not good, and because for me, I like to show my friend what I did or what I'm gonna do, so that they can tell me what to do, what to do, like start an improvement of what I'm doing now. So I used to share my art to my friends so they can tell me if it is good or if it is not, if they can do more, what they can change so that I can make it better. So that's why I started doing art. I started doing art like that for my friends. And as you know, art is something that attracts you when you're doing it, you know. When you do art and people like it, like you be attracted in doing more, hoping to know or wanting to know what they will think about it next, you know. So from that energy, from that motivation, from that word from my friend, that's where I say, let me just keep doing it. Let me just keep hard working. Let me just keep drawing so I will know maybe what will bring to me, you know. So in like 2021, that's when 2020, in the end of 2020, like December, that's where I did my first work that have been like blast. Many people like, you know, because I remember it was a digital painting of Sonny Rollins. Sonny Rollins is an American singer. I don't know if you know him. Yeah. So people like it and they say, wow, wow, you must keep doing this, you must keep doing this. So that's when I started to think if I can join like art marketing in Rwanda or get some galleries, but I was afraid. I didn't know how to like approach gallery or some big names in art here in Rwanda, but I try. I say, let me just try. If I fail, maybe, I don't know, I will just take another genre in my life, So from that, I start to send those works to, sorry, sorry.
Fine.
I don't know if you are seeing me.
We can see kind of. So I think you're fine.
Okay. I was saying that's when I started to join the art galleries in Rwanda, some big names in art here in Rwanda. I started sending my works via the email because I was afraid. I was afraid that I said maybe I cannot approach like a person in a person either in get what to say to him. So I choose to send the works via the emails, and then I got like some really appreciations from them. They appreciated from them. So, yeah. So in 2021, that's when I did my first exhibitions here in Rwanda. But I had only work in exhibition, you know. I had only one exhibition. That work I did in 2020 December. That's only work I had in the exhibition. But I was with big names artists here in Rwanda, and they were having like 10 works in exhibition, 5 works in exhibition, but me, I had only one work. So I said, if I can be in among these names, these big names in Rwanda, it's like something that pushed me, something that I say like now, even now that it is something that pushed me, that motivated me to say, let me just keep doing art. Let me just keep telling people what they do. Let me just seek a big connection, and then I will know later what they bring to me. So that's where I keep creating more works, keep creating more paintings, more digital works. That's where I joined many art marketing in Rwanda, and then it came to the level of like start having a connection with people outside from Rwanda, people's big collectors, big like art official agents from Rwanda, from outside Rwanda. So I say, let me, if it started going like this, let me just be a real artist and find what really inspires me. That's where I get like maybe, because for me, I like to, when I think about art, the first thing that came in my mind is about empowering women, you know, empowering women and maybe drawing or painting what I see from the society, many things that surround me. But mainly all those things that around me, it came from like bringing into the part of feeling like I have to increase my voice and speaks for what the part of women in this life. So that's where I started drawing, many paintings of women. Like if you check on my Instagram account, you see that more paintings are women. And people ask me like question, why do you paint women? Why do you paint women? So talking about the women, I can say that uh, I believe that every woman is extraordinary, because the intuition affect me a lot, and they work hard, and history and and the fact that I spent big time when I was kid with my mother, and I saw how many times sacrificing herself for our well-being, and throughout so many difficult situations, they have seen the passions and courage in the women. So uh, making living herself and trying to make our family life better, where maybe now and say, all this art, all this thing, all the inspiration I have now came from that, you know. So that's the journal. That's the journal from when I was skiing till now. But I have so many things. I have so many now exhibition I've been presented in. I have my project have been now. I have some big companies I can say like Samsung. I'm working right now because I mean it's been big, it's been amazing. They've been a good channel till now. Yeah.
Oh, we truly love to see it, honestly. And I think after all, you didn't really need what YouTube had to offer when you Googled, oh, where do artists find their inspiration from? You found inspiration within your own family, within the women around you. And truly that is, I mean, this is again wholesome content. One of my previous teachers would say this phrase all the time, Miss Mona. But honestly, when I was listening to your story, and I'm assuming when the audience was listening to your story, all what could come to our brain, this is so inspiring, and this is again such a wholesome content. What about you, Maite? I see that there are plants behind you. Do you find inspiration in nature, or yeah, just where do you mostly find inspiration in? And do you have to travel somewhere specific to find that inspiration?
Yeah, I love outdoor sports. Okay, I do hiking, I swim in the ocean, and nature usually stay with me. I was a surfer. I love outdoor sports, bike, everything. And I think when you see a beautiful day and you see this uh, nature well living, people, animals. I don't know if you see, I have a squirrel here in my back, like because I have something to eat here in the front, and he's coming and go. And this is my truly, I stay like paralyzed when I see this, because I think it's so natural. It's so, I think because of this, I usually it's nice for me like to balance, because usually if you work in a computer, you have to stay indoor, no, it's always indoor. And then when I go outdoor, is my moment that I put some new ideas in my mind, and say like refreshing and restarting again, and then come back and then draw and then do my art. It's amazing. I love nature. You are right.
Oh my God, so you're also like a whole surfer, and again, wholesome content. Um, and truly, as you've mentioned, especially for people who work with like digital art and like with computers all the time, it's like it's very hard to just sit down and stay in one place and face a screen. So you definitely need to go out to, as you mentioned, refresh your eyes and refresh your mind. And it's truly very lovely and complete. This is a side note, but your office or wherever you're sitting is very beautiful. I'm so in love. I'm like, this is very
Thank you.
wholesome. I like to be there.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I love. This is my favorite place in the house. My office. I love it. I love it. A lot of people with me here. You see.
I mean, very, very beautiful. What about you, Akshata? Where do you find inspiration from? Do you find inspiration in people, in places, in objects, experiences? How do you create art?
Can you give me for like 1 minute?
Yes, of course.
Thank you.
Yeah, so basically it depends. My art is it doesn't form a proper style as so far. So it depends. Like it's basically on the current life situations. I head to the grocery store. I see some comic. My characters depend on that. I see some plants like Maete told about the environment. There's a lot you can observe from the environment that put into your art. Then now I am learning urban sketching. This is a new form that I'm learning. Yeah. So I just came across Instagram and I thought, why not try it? So I'm going on the field visits to try out the sketching part. Apart from that, there's some oil painting that goes on. So it's like a mixture of all the art that you can see, not to stick to one pattern or one form. That is what I have, because everybody, there were questions from people, what is your style, what is your style, and so far I do not know what is my style, and it is not necessary and it is not mandatory for anybody to have a style developed within just year or maybe 10 years or 15 years. There are people, believe me, there are people in my contact who have still not developed the art style, and they feel it is okay. It is okay. It is normal until you feel you're satisfied with your art. You keep on trying, and trust me, I try all the forms, and I'm in love with all. So until I feel one day, okay, let's stick to this, I'll keep trying. So far, urban sketching is also amazing. It's amazing. Go on the spot, sit with the mountains, or maybe any spot in the city as well. So it's not like you'll get the entire day for sketching. You can't just sit on the roadside or any place, but take the pointers, do the markings, come back, and then fill in it. So, but yeah, but there are, trust me, so there's a group of 15 to 20 with whom I go. There are people who can sketch the entire building in just 10 minutes. It's beautiful. I mean, I just keep looking at that person. Someday, he's an experienced person. We, in our group, he's 50, 60 years perhaps. He's left his job and now started sketching. So I look like an inspiration. So people around, you'll find inspiration in everything. This is what I feel. At times, some people just pass on by. It's not required for you to have a conversation. One line also, if they say, that just stuck to your mind, the entire day is just made up. So yeah.
Truly, again, wholesome content. I think I will be repeating this phrase throughout the chat. And honestly, as you've mentioned it earlier, there is, within artistic spheres, there is this like need to have a label and to have something that like you stick to. But again, as we mentioned earlier, being an artist is extremely fluid. And as you were speaking, it was like you can find inspiration in your city, in the countryside, in nature, even like within the buildings that you are in, if you're living in the city. So honestly, what you were saying truly resonated with me, and I'm assuming with a lot of other artists that are watching or attending the call here. Just a side note, quick reminder for our audience, if you do have any questions, you can drop them in the chat box, and we will answer them in a few minutes. And so, yeah, I think my last question would be, oh, Maete, would you like to say something?
No, I think this, what Akshata said about style, this is something that surface pattern designers used to say, oh, you have to have just a style and your fingerprint and I was struggling because I was saying, but if I have, okay, you have some style, but the style is not less something is tank. Because if you stay like in this tank thing, you just don't have creativity anymore. You say, yeah, oh, okay, I will just do this. No. And then other day I was in a meeting with surface pattern design, and one said to me, the meeting said, okay, I don't want to be on just one style, because I want to people know that I do different things. I don't do just one thing. I can do different things and different support, different tools, and I can. And you know what? We are free. We are free soul. We need to try something different all day. oh, today I wake up and I say, oh, maybe I can paint, maybe I can, I don't know, I can use, you have a lot of tools.
See, how does it matter if my one character is different from another character? It's a character, right? It will be different. But times it becomes very difficult to give explanation to people who are so experienced in the industry. If they can't encourage you, the only thing that happens is you're demoralized. And I have come home back crying on it. Like I have quit my career and I have got into, and somewhere I am just struggling and it is not going anywhere. I decided one day to put a full stop. It's okay. I will try all the patterns, all the ways that I can until I decide which style I want to, or it is okay for me to have all the styles possible. But yeah, I also agree that it's essential to have a style that helps you to recognize. Like I remember, I follow an artist who's from Bangalore, India. Her name is Alicia Souza. So she's one of the finest into fine arts. She has a wide range of merchandiles. So wherever you see the art, you can recognize it. Okay, this is Alicia's art. For that, it is essential for you to have a style, and but it doesn't mean that you have to have the label. Like tomorrow,
Yes.
if someone watch, they should be in position to identify that is Maete's art, that is Manzi's art, that is Akshata's art. That differentiation, for that differentiation, yes, I believe style is important, but it should not be the only tag.
No, definitely, and I think it's a very Western concept for artists to fit within one category. Because even when you study art history, and you focus on Europe, there was this like, it was a big criterion for you to be an artist to have a specific style and a specific medium that you're using. But then when you look at art history in Africa, in Asia, in Southern America, it's way different. Artists were multifaceted people. In fact, artists were not just artists, they were philosophers, they were poets, there were so many other things than just like visual artists. And I definitely resonate with what Akshata said regarding, yes, you will want to be recognizable, but that should not come as a label on your head, but rather, oh, this is the fingerprint of the artist. And truly, as Maete said, we are human beings. And if tomorrow I want to pick up a canvas and start painting, I should be allowed to do that. Honestly, this was such an awesome and lovely conversation. And I think this also serves as a reminder to the people watching us, and not just artists, but creatives in general. If you would like to do something, I don't think labels should be a limitation for yourself. You can create your own label even. And that leads us to a couple of questions that our audience put in the chat. Walter is asking, how did these talented artists come in contact with TapArt? If any of you would like to start, you can just tell us in a sentence or two, how did you get to meet Shri and interact with TapArt?
Nice side.
Yes, of course.
Okay, the way I've been getting in touch with TapArt, I was maybe was working with TapArt, but his man is here in Rwanda. I was here in Rwanda, so he's the one who introduced me to the TapArt. So I sent the biography and other information they were asking, and then yeah, it just happened, you know.
That is very awesome. What about you, Akshata? How did you come in contact with TapArt?
So it's TapArt really means a lot to me. I'll tell you how. So I had quit my career in finance in November, and I started doing art. But initially it was not that great. But all of nowhere, I was within 3 to 4 months after I had quit. I was at a phase of really thinking, should I go back to where I left? Is it something which is not good, not right? Because not every time it will happen, right? You know, everything as per you, what you decide. So one fine day, I was just thinking everything is just waste. Everything is just waste. No recognition, nothing. And I happened to receive a mail from TapArt. So you know that day, I still remember. Even my husband remembers. It's like, you know, out of nowhere, one small thing can make you so happy. It's been 2 years now for that thing, but association and the timely coming can change a lot many things. And then interaction with Shri to you know, get me on their platform with the arts to be introduced. It was a very big thing for me. So that part remains to be the first one helping me, motivating me to continue on this path that you see. Yeah.
Honestly, such a lovely story. It's like a small love story of how Akshata discovered the word of second art and being connected. And I think this is all what tap art is about, truly allowing creative spaces and amplifying the voices of artists, especially coming from underrepresented areas. Because as we've mentioned at some point in the call, there is this like focus of Eurocentric art, and then Western artists being put under the spotlight. But tap art is trying and is being successful in, again, amplifying the voices of us artists who do not necessarily always get our share of the spotlight. And what about you, Maete? How did you come into contact with tap art?
You know what? I think I was 6 or 7 years that I started to study about like this new economy. No, because this opened for us a big field now when you talk about digital art and how to show your work and how to sell your work and how to apply your work in other things, you know, is so different. And one time I think I was invited, but tap art is not like online yet. I think I was the first ones to submit my work. I don't know, maybe you can say better, but I was invited through my Instagram, and I was so excited. And I say, oh, they understand. This is what I want to do. You know, like this is for me is a way that I can show my work the way that I like to work. Because when you work for someone, usually you are like doing something for someone the way that someone wants. No, the my boss or my client or everything. And this way in tap art I can like do what I want to do, you know, what I love. And when I start to study this new concept, because when I start to work with graphic design, usually the client come to you and then you start the work. And now I think it's inverse. Now we start the work and the client know and want your work, or maybe just want to work with you, but they come from your art. And when I start to study this, I was so used to work with clients that I didn't know anymore what I want to do. And I say, come on, I have to. And then I start to sketch and see what I want to do, what is my style or what. And I was struggling with this. Oh, I have to have the one style. And I say, no, but I don't have just one. I have a lot. But and then I start this study for myself. I just doing like a reflection to see what I really want to do, like with my talent or with my tools. Or and then when I was invited for tap art, I say, oh, this is an opportunity to show my work the way that I believe it's nice, and let's see who will like it or who will want to buy it. But for me it was a new word, this digital marketing, you know, like it's so free for you. It's like a freedom. to show you art before the client like ask, oh, I want you to do this, and you say, oh, okay, I will do that. But it's not what I want to do.
No, truly. I think TapArt does an incredible job in centering the artist's artwork and also allowing the artists to be their true self through their craft and not necessarily imposing these ideals or standards of what art should look like, as you mentioned. And I hope that answered your question. And there is a question in the chat from Alex. So TapArt is a New York-based company. I am dialing from Morocco. Maete is dialing from Brazil. Akshata is dialing from India. And Manzi is dialing from Rwanda. And that again highlights the beauty of TapArt. We are an international community of different artists from all across the globe. And we have these little chats like the one today where we get to connect and we get to interact with our audience. So yeah. Robert is asking, who are some of y'all's favorite artists? Who would like to go first? Akshata, I saw the little facial expression. You can go first.
So on international front, I have not been much, I don't have much knowledge about it so far. But if we talk about India, like I mentioned earlier, Alicia Souza is one of the finest illustrators. Then there is one Pranita Kochrekar. She has her art handle with the name of Piku on Instagram. And there are a couple of more, but I don't remember the Instagram handles, which is Drashti. Drashti is one more. So international base, I really have no much idea about it because I've not explored that part. I just want to go step by step by step. So first, have knowledge of where you are and then move out.
I love this part. Get the knowledge about where you are. I think it's very easy in a very very interconnected world that we live in to always look outside and forget about what is happening inside. What about you, Manzi? 2 or 3 of your favorite artists?
Yeah, I have a lot all the time. I was looking for new arts and the thing, but I want to mention one that is from Brazil too. It's the name is Amanda Mall. I will put the link in the chat because it's not just her art, it's the expression for her, and she is the one that usually is like changing the base of her work. Like one time is for more collage and then more painting and then more, and she has a online shop too, and she worked with this, and she she inspires me to be like these amorphous things, like you can change, you can do, and it's not just her art, but it's all the feeling that she can say to me, And other company that I love the things is Rifle Paper. I don't know if they know. I can put the link in the chat too.
Yes,
but they have a style. I have a lot of things for them. I don't know if I have something to show, but they have one style, and I admire. But I can't do that. But it's so nice that the things that they have in their online store is so nice too.
Oh, awesome. Please put their links to their Instagram in the chat. I'm sure all of us would love to go see and learn more about them. Manzi, 2 or 3 of your favorite artists.
Okay, thank you. I will start with 2 from here in Rwanda. So one is called HZ. So he's the owner of the gallery, one gallery here in Rwanda, and he's the one who been pushing me from when I was like starting the art. So he's my favorite one, and another one is Izere, called Izere Antoine. He's also a good artist in Rwanda, and you've been having like projects and exhibitions outside Rwanda. I mean, he's big and inspires me. And another one I can mention is a big name from Ghana. It's called Amoako Boafo. So, and now I don't know if you know him, but he's big, he's very big, and I got I got 6 works in his collection right now. So,
Wow.
I put their names in the chat.
Thank you so much. Yes, please. Guys, please put the names of these artists. All of them just sound like amazing people that we would love to consume their art. And I think if there are no more questions in the chat, I think we can call it a day. To our lovely audience, thank you for coming. Make sure to follow our artists on Instagram. They have put the links to their Instagrams in the chat box. To our lovely artists, Maete, Akshata, Manzi, it's been an honor and a pleasure to interact with you, to get to meet you, and to host this chat. Thank you, TapArt, for facilitating this opportunity for us, the people who consume, but also for us, the artists, to interact and get to know each other. And I think Shri would like to give us his final thoughts and a final word, and then yeah.
Thank you so much, Rayhana, for hosting this in the first place, and thank you, Akshata, Maete, Manzi. Thank you so much for joining. I really can't say much right now. My heart's very heavy. This was a very wholesome chat, and it's truly an honor for us to have artists of your caliber and to be able to build out a platform which supports all of you. And the main reason we're hosting these chats is to really give a personal connection between the artists and the consumers. We've always felt like there is a big distance between what the artist is trying to say and the consumer buying the piece. And when someone buys artwork, the way forward, we want it to be in a way where they know the story behind the artist and the artwork. And through this chat, I am sure now, Maete, Manzi, Akshata, all of you guys, now that your personal stories have been heard by the people, it's very fascinating how you guys are able to overcome all of these challenges, and also listening to your struggles, listening to how you've developed over the years is inspiring to all of us. So from TapArt side, it's truly an honor to have all of you guys here. But before we quit, of course, thank you guys. Thank you, Rayhana, for hosting this again. Thank you, all 3 artists. You guys were really amazing, but also thank you to the TapArt team for putting this together, and making this happen. Without them, wouldn't be possible. So thank you all for joining. I hope it was a valuable session. We will be posting this video recording on YouTube very soon, and we will be sharing links with all of those who joined today, as well as Maete, Manzi, Akshata, you guys would also be receiving short snippets. Rayhana, of course, is going to be in some of those snippets, but I think if you guys are able to share these short snippets with your audience, then, it's a short form way of them engaging with you more. And, that is pretty much the point of these fireside chat, where your customers get to know you more. So I hope we were able to accomplish that. But thank you so much to everyone who joined. This was an amazing session. And, even though I said my heart's heavy, can't speak, kept rambling 5 minutes. So thank you so much, guys, for joining. We will be doing this again in 3 weeks. So please do join again then. And in the meanwhile, you guys have a great rest of your day.
Thank you. Thank you for having
Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you for having me too. Bye. Thank you. Nice to meet you guys.
Nice to meet you guys. Thank you for joining.